Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
And we begin with new information in connection with the body of a woman found outside a West Side home. She's been identified as 19-year-old Gloria Martinez.
And tonight we're learning more about the case and who she was. Erica Hernandez spoke with her family.
Last week on July 20th, police got an anonymous call about a body found inside a bin outside of an abandoned home. When police arrived to the 2400 block of San Luis Street, they noticed a gray bin, and after further investigation, noticed a woman's body inside, wrapped in blankets. That woman, now identified as 19-year-old Gloria Martinez, her life tragically cut short.
She was just an outgoing girl, just very loving, very caring. She would give you the shirt off her back. She was the sweetest girl.
Gloria had been living with her father. Recently, he fell ill and was in the hospital, and she was alone in their home. 3 weeks ago was the last time Angela Garcia heard from her cousin.
I'm just super upset that she's gone, and she was taken so horribly.
This is that abandoned home where Gloria's body was found. Family and friends now leaving candles and flowers in her memory. Police now still searching for a suspect in this case. In the meantime, the family is now trying to come up with funeral expenses and are waiting for the person responsible for her death to be arrested.
We just want answers and to understand what happened and why it happened.
Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Now for the latest on a local migrant resource center, which caught a lot of neighbors and business owners by surprise. So many of them are going to be at tonight's meeting. District 1 Council member Mario Bravo set it up. He and others from city agencies are going to be together to answer people's questions and concerns and talk about new changes at that center. Jessie Degollado was out there last week, and tonight she's going to show us what's happened since then.
Migrants like these who'd sit in the shade of stores lining a retail center are gone just over a week later. What happened? SAPD is in the parking lot, ready to tell anyone who's loitering to leave. Where do they go? Usually it's said back to the Migrant Resource Center next door, where now there are more tents for shade and picnic tables where they can sit. They can still leave and bring back food they've bought nearby, but the center is serving 3 hot meals a day. And if it gets too cold for them inside, there are blankets for each cot.
And so the more comfortable we can keep them on the site, the less they're going to wander off premises.
District 1 Councilmember Mario Bravo says for being open less than 3 weeks, the center is, in his words, very well organized. Although
it was a challenge, it was a bumpy in the beginning.
Set up to process 600 asylum seekers daily, he says turnover is high. 24 to 48 hours later, they're on their way to meet family in the U.S.
We want to assist them to get to wherever they're going, and we're trying to do that as efficiently as possible.
A business owner I spoke to last week told me he's been seeing the difference for the most part.
It slowed down a lot for the last at least 3 days. Today came back to almost the same, less a little bit from what we used to see.
About 20 new arrivals came in separate groups to look around his wholesale embroidery shop. But usually, he says, now it's about 2 individuals or groups a day.
I mean, we can live with it if they can just, follow the rules. If they can, just do their things and we do our things, that's it. Hopefully we'll continue.
Jessie Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
The Texas Rangers and Terrell Hills Police investigating a deadly overnight shooting. It happened about 3 this morning in the 2000 block of Harry Wurzbach Road near Fort Sam Houston. Authorities say a 32-year-old woman was shot in the upper body. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities say 5 people were in the area when the shooting happened, 2 of them detained as witnesses. Another pair left the area before officers arrived.
We've been actively looking for them. We had SAPD K-9 involved, but we have not located them yet, so we don't know anything about them.
The Terrell Hills police chief says they are still searching for the 2 men who left the crime scene. An official at the scene says Texas Rangers are taking over this investigation, saying they have more available resources.
San Antonio police have a lot of questions after someone shot a teenage girl overnight. Officers say that someone shot at the car that the victim was riding in. It happened on the northwest side on Woodstone Drive near I-10. So why did police find the victim somewhere else? KSAT's Katrina Weber has the story.
Officers weren't taking chances with missing any evidence. They roped off a huge section of a parking lot along Woodstone Drive near I-10. Scattered in the middle of it, they found more than a dozen shell casings. It's evidence of a shooting that happened just before 2:30 this morning. Police say someone took aim at a car carrying 4 people, 3 of them teenage girls. One girl was hit in the chest. Although investigators believe this is where she was shot, they had to look down the road closer to De Zavala to find her. After the shooting, police say the car with the wounded girl made its way to this parking lot, but the driver made all 3 teens get out and then left them. When help arrived for the wounded girl, police say she was in critical condition. As she was rushed to a hospital, investigators combed through the crime scene. They say the others in the car told them they were traveling on Woodstone when another car pulled in front of them, stopped, and then someone got out and started shooting. Police say the group initially thought the car contained someone they knew, but quickly realized there was nothing friendly here, only gunfire. Investigators are trying to track down the shooter. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
New at 6, 12 years in prison. That's the sentence for a woman convicted in a 2018 intoxication manslaughter case where she hit and killed a man who had stopped on the side of the highway. It happened on October 16th, 2018. 26-year-old Maurice Zuniga had stopped to check on a car he was towing along Loop 410. As he was standing next to that car, 42-year-old Blanca Torres' car slammed into him and both of Zuniga's cars. He died at the hospital. Torres' blood alcohol content 0.017, more than 2 times the legal limit.
He was convicted of human trafficking, and now we're getting closer to find out how long Xavier Green is going to spend in jail. He was found guilty of trafficking a 16-year-old girl. That victim, now 18, she told jurors that she ran away from home and met Green and another man, and then they took her to an abandoned apartment off of Blanco Road and eventually forced her into prostitution. The other man involved in this case has already taken a plea deal. So now the punishment phase of Green's trial is underway, and the jury's going to hear closing arguments tomorrow and then decide Green's punishment. By the way, he's facing 5 to 99 years or life in prison.
It has a hefty price tag totaling $3 billion. $3 billion. Operation Lone Star quickly became the priciest border security initiative, costing Texans $2.5 million a week. That's according to ProPublica and the Texas Tribune. And while millions have been allocated for the militarization and concertina wire along the border, how has Operation Lone Star helped counties miles away from the line? Alicia Barrera spoke to Brooks County Sheriff Benny Martinez on the more than $1 million his county received and why more money is still needed.
Although more than an hour from the border, in Brooks County, immigration is still a major focus.
The volume of people coming in is so high that they cannot keep up with it.
According to Brooks County Sheriff Benny Martinez, groups of migrants are dropped off south of the Falfurrias Border Patrol checkpoint and instructed by smugglers to tread in sand through dense brush.
We have a lot of placards that can be utilized for specific locations where they can get identified or actually get rescued, but they just don't stay there. They move, and it's a hard death because they know they're dying.
And while Commander George Estrada and his team work quickly to answer each call, of the more than $1 million Brooks County received from Operation Lone Star, several $100,000 were invested in 2 4x4 trucks. But still, the terrain is relentless and difficult to navigate. However, many migrants succumb to the elements. So far this year, 65 bodies have been recovered and placed in the county's new and permanent morgue, also funded by Operation Lone Star.
I have about 15 that are identified that we're just waiting for the consulates to get a hold of the family.
Currently, only 3 of the 35 spots in the morgue remain available.
Through the assistance of MMP, the Border Patrol that was initiated because of all the body counts we have, we're able to identify these folks through fingerprints.
Yet one of the biggest barriers that remains is communications due to dead cellular zones, which is why Sheriff Martinez says that the remaining funds for Operation Lone Star will be used to build a new communications tower, and that could be done within the next 24 months. In Brooks County, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
So Border Patrol is saying it's still apprehending a record number of people along the Del Rio sector of the border. Over the weekend, it apprehended more than 2,500 migrants. Today, Border Patrol invited a group to a security event to get a better idea of the challenges that both migrants and agents are facing every day. The event included a water rescue, a body recovered from a trail, and an enclosed tractor trailer. Basically, they wanted to send a message to the people who are thinking of crossing.
The communities on both sides of the border suffer from associated crimes that can only come with criminal elements looking to take advantage of a very lucrative smuggling trade. We need the migrants that would make this trip to hear this message and to think twice, to not make this trip.
So listen to this. According to the Border Patrol Del Rio sector, 170 migrants have died this year alone. And over the weekend, we know that agents rescued 20 migrants.
Let's go to Sky 12 right now to check out the traffic situation. This is I-35 north as it hits I-10. Already a busy area, but you can see nothing is moving through this section because of that stalled semi that you see there. It looks like a tow truck is on the scene along with EMS to try to alert people that they can't go this way. But again, this is 35 near I-10. Hopefully they get that truck out of the way and traffic moves a little smoother through this area. Well, new at 6, interest rates up again. The U.S. Federal Reserve jacking up its benchmark interest rate by 3/4 of a point for the second month in a row. With that, inflation and talk of a recession all swirling, Garrett Berger talked with 2 economists about what it means to you and me.
With inflation at a 41-year high, rising costs are on everyone's mind.
It's really hard to get some of those basic necessities without stretching the budget.
To fight inflation, the Federal Reserve has been aggressively raising interest rates, but that also affects you, generally making it more expensive if you're trying to get a new mortgage or car loan.
So if you can wait another 6 to 8 months, then I would definitely hold off on buying that car or buying that house.
It also affects existing debt if you have a variable rate, like many credit cards.
You really need to try to get fixed rates or get rid of some of those credit cards to begin with.
A possible silver lining to the higher interest rates is it could also mean higher yields for savings later on.
The banks are not anxious to raise those interest rates, but eventually they'll have to stay competitive.
We have all these different institutions, so you got to look and say, what are they paying and what's my minimum requirement and can I afford it? And not touch it.
As both economists we talked with think we're already in a recession.
So far, at least, it's very mild.
Saving is a good idea at the moment.
In the environment that's emerging now, it's better to be a saver than a spender or a debtor.
Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
All right, now we're going to take things outside. Here is our live cam. It's along I-10 right there. 611 right now, 98 degrees. Let's talk about what else is on tap for the rest of your Friday Eve, Adam.
That's right. And this evening, the wind is going to pick up a little bit. You will notice that as the temperature gradually drops from our high temperature of 100 degrees back to triple digits today. So only 2 days so far this month have been below 100. And of course, that marks our 48th 100-degree day so far this year. There's still a lot of summer left to go to keep tallying these up. And now we're getting closer to the record of 59 set back in 2009. I think we're on track to meet and exceed that record. Abilene right now, 101. Dallas, or I should say high temperature 101. Dallas, a high temperature of 102. Del Rio made it up to 102. Not the intense heat of days and weeks past, but still, we're feeling the triple digits. Pleasanton 102, New Braunfels 101 for the high temperature. Now we're at 99. By 8 o'clock, we'll be down into the upper 80s, and you will notice the wind picking up. Also, we do have a few showers on the radar screen we'll look at with slightly better chances of rain on the way. We'll talk about it coming up.
We raised our temperature to 78 on average on a thermostat, and even that doesn't seem to help.
It's the million-dollar question. Why? Why are electric bills so high right now? Tonight on the Night Beat, we'll take that question to an economist when he thinks we could see some relief. I know that we want that. Also, we're headed back out to Brooks County. Law enforcement shows us the challenges that they face after dark as more people continue to cross the border. Also, passing scores with problems, the health concerns that inspectors found at several local restaurants when we go behind the kitchen door on the Night Beat.
Sky 12 as we head towards the weather segment of our newscast, and you can see that this is a pretty shot.
Pretty.
There's some green out there. I see the library that looks like it's got a sunburn, but no, it's always enchilada red. So, you know, seasonal.
That's where I got my library card at Central Library.
It's a really cool building.
It is.
It really is.
It is. Especially if you need a place to cool off in the summertime, go to the library, browse through the books, and open something up. You may find something that you like. Let's get right to it temperature-wise going forward. Today we hit 100 degrees. Tomorrow, 99 is what we're expecting. We think we'll have a little extra cloud cover with a slightly better chance of a few showers. So it's right near 100, give or take a degree through the weekend and even into next week. Above average, but not really record challenging territory again. Not just yet. Okay, I talked about it earlier. I mentioned, hey, a few little pop-up showers. Check out this one just east of Seguin, right on I-10. A very lonely shower. If you're in Seguin, look east right now and you should be able to see that big rain shaft coming down. I don't anticipate this to last a lot longer. And then you head farther south, McMullen County, just south of Choke Canyon Reservoir here and south of Tilden. Not bad. And one or two popping up there, and even a little bit of lightning here in southern McMullen County, at least over the past 30 to 45 minutes. But these are very short-lived and dissipate pretty quickly. Here's the big picture. Most of Texas remaining dry. We did see some shower activity and some heavy rain around Houston, and everywhere in the state needs it right now. So at least we were seeing a few downpours for some folks around Houston, downtown, and even the west side of Houston. Most of the moisture, though, we're talking Arizona, New Mexico, and then especially you get up into St. Louis. There's just a conveyor belt of moisture going up and around Texas with the flooding in parts of the Midwest there. Closer to home, I do anticipate a few extra showers tomorrow compared to what we had today. Slightly better coverage. Here's our futurecast, and yeah, we'll have a decent amount of cloud cover in the morning. Otherwise, becoming fairly sunny for the midday and afternoon. Notice by 2 o'clock, Futurecast even indicating the possibility of a few popping up closer to the Gulf Coast and along the coastal plain. We're talking within about 80, 90 miles of the Gulf of Mexico. So that would be basically Lavaca County, DeWitt County, Karnes County as well. We get farther into the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock, and it wouldn't surprise me if development gets closer to, and if not even over San Antonio. Some parts of town, 1 or 2 lucky spots could get it into the afternoon and early evening hours tomorrow. I think we'll have deeper moisture in the air, enough instability just to get some showers and non-severe thunderstorms going, but they'll be pretty brief and highly localized. We give it a 20% chance tomorrow opposed to the 10% chance that you saw today. So 99 right now, dew point is 63, making it feel like it's up to 101. The wind's out of the south at 10 currently, but it's going to kick up to about 25 miles per hour here within a few hours out of the southeast, and that's going to really boost the mugginess pretty quickly after sunset as well. Cotulla now, 105. That's a hot spot on our map. New Braunfels, 100. Kerrville, 94 degrees. For the most part, we're just either at 100 or a few degrees within it. Seguin 96 right now, Helotes at 97, and Bulverde 96. Dew points noticeable but not oppressive. For the most part, lower 60s, so you feel a bit of mugginess in the air. These dew points are going to be spiking, as I mentioned, after sunset, and then tomorrow morning, very sticky. Dew point of about 73, and then, as usual, that dew point, the mugginess drops off into the afternoon, but we should still have enough moisture in the air to give us a heat index of up to about 102. So this evening, that noticeable breeze kicking up. 93 at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 88 degrees, sticky and muggy overnight, very typical for this time of year. And then tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., 78 degrees and mostly cloudy, quickly clearing out with a lot of sunshine by noon, 90 degrees. And then 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we have that 10% chance becoming 20% from about 3 to 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Overall, right near 100 when you look at high temperatures, give or take a degree. Seguin 100, even Rio Medina 100. Rain chance is pretty slim, just 10% then by Monday and Tuesday of next week.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
Hi, Larry.
Hello.
Good to have you with us here today.
Thank you.
Let's talk about Dak Prescott. He spoke today during Cowboys training camp. He spoke to the media.
Yes, so Dak, of course, always the center of attention, but when he talks to the media, there is a huge amount of people that are interested in talking to Dak, hearing what he has to say, and yes, Dak knows it's Super Bowl or bust this season, and in soccer, San Antonio FC is absolutely red hot. We got it coming up.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Day 2 of Dallas Cowboys training camp underway in Southern California, and that also means the second day of workouts. Dak Prescott has returned for his 7th season with his 29th birthday set for tomorrow. And this camp comes with no restrictions following his nasty ankle injury in 2020. With more, let's take you live to Dallas Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California, and our Greg Simmons.
All right, thanks a lot, Larry. So far, so good. No injuries to report here in the first 2 days of training camp, and that's always great news. Now, the one thing we've noticed here is that Dak Prescott has more zip on the ball. Tight end Dalton Schultz confirming that today, saying Dak definitely has more velocity, and Prescott confirmed that in his first press conference since arriving in SoCal. His workouts have helped increase his arm strength. But listen to what head coach Mike McCarthy said about Dak and winning the Super Bowl and how Dak responds.
This is Dak Prescott's offense, and I think you see him really taking ownership of that because at the end of the day, defense wins championships, but the Super Bowl is won by the quarterback.
Defense wins championships. It's true, and when he says quarterbacks win the Super Bowl, it means they got to make big plays and big moments in games like that. And just the way that this game has evolved to such a spread game now in the NFL that you've got to make big-time throws, whether it be third down, fourth down, to win games, and that's the biggest game, and the biggest moments they happen in that game. So 100% understand what he's saying, and just trying to do whatever I can to get to that moment, really.
All right, and what they're working on right out of the gate here is the quarterback cadence. They're trying to eliminate all those pre-snap penalties, especially with some new faces on that offensive line. And also Dalton Schultz will talk about his franchise tag, and I'll give you a hint, he's not happy about that. And Leighton Vander Esch, the Wolf Hunter himself, joins us on the Night Beat. Live in Oxnard, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
Thank you, Greg. Minnesota Vikings second-year quarterback Kellen Mond built a new foundation with throwing fundamentals this offseason. Last year, just days in the training camp, he tested positive for COVID-19. He missed a chunk of practices and said he lost about 10 pounds. Because of that, he said he picked up some bad throwing habits because he was trying to create more power. This offseason, he said he unlearned some of those things and built off a new foundation. Mond is healthy, happy, and battling Sean Mannion for the backup job behind Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm excited, and, I'm not really worried about, any outside competition. In my mind, if I do what I need to do, if I go out and execute the way I know I can and the way I should, then I think everything will work itself out.
On day 1 of practice, Mon and Mannion split second-team reps. Minnesota's new head coach is former NFL quarterback Kevin O'Connell, which Mon said will help him out because coach has a QB mindset. San Antonio FC continues to pace the USL Championship. They now have a league best 49 points after beating Las Vegas Lights FC last night 2-0. San Antonio scored first in the 34th minute when Saad Abdul Salam tapped in a corner kick after Justin Dillon redirected the ball in front of the goal. Abdul Salam's first goal since joining SAFC. Samuel Adeniran added his 5th goal of the season in the 64th minute. SAFC wins 2-0 for the team's 4th straight clean sheet and 5th in the last 6 matches. San Antonio returns home Saturday to host LA Galaxy 2 from Toyota Field at 8 p.m. And happy birthday to Spurs great Manu. Today, the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame inductee turns 45 years old. Happy birthday, Manu.
45 years old.
45.
Manu.
Yeah, Manu.
I was thinking the same thing. Love that when they would do that in Miami.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry.
So back to school time, just around the corner, and many of you have questions about vaccines, and we're going to get you answers next on our KSAT Q&A. All right, it's about that time. On top of back to school shopping, getting your kids on a regular sleep schedule, it's a very busy time for parents. You're busy sorting things out, but here's something to think about, and that's vaccines.
Yeah, they're necessary to protect your kids before they re-enter the classroom this fall. We're talking about way more than just the COVID vaccine. Joining us live to talk about all that from the Long School of Medicine at UT Health San Antonio. Always pleased to be joined by Dr. Ruth Berggren. She's an infectious disease specialist. Doctor, I want to start with monkeypox because we had a phone bank yesterday with University Health, and a lot of the questions that we got yesterday from people calling in were, what should I do about monkeypox? Do I need to get a monkeypox vaccine? And should I be concerned about my kids and monkeypox?
Right. So what should I do about monkeypox? Should I be concerned? Should I get a vaccine? What we know is that this virus, which is a cousin of smallpox, a milder version of smallpox, can be transmitted from human to human. But the people who seem to be getting it are people that are having close personal skin-to-skin contact. So it's not only sexually transmitted. You can get it from close and personal skin-to-skin contact from somebody else who's having lesions. And in some cases, there may be respiratory particles, not airborne, but respiratory droplets that may transmit it. So those are the risk factors. Up until now, we've heard about 13 cases in Bexar County, so it is legitimate to be a little bit concerned and be paying attention. But who are the folks that are getting it? It is people who are having sexual relations with people who have monkeypox, or people who are having multiple partners. That's where we're primarily seeing monkeypox right now. In the world, it certainly has also been transmitted to children, just from close physical contact. So children could get infected, but we wouldn't expect to see that sort of thing happening unless we had a much higher prevalence of monkeypox in the community. So for now, the way that we control this disease is that people who have been exposed to a case of known monkeypox can get vaccinated. And that vaccine needs to be given within 4 to 14 days of the known exposure, and it can significantly reduce the symptoms. It may not prevent infection, but if it's given timely, it can prevent the duration of the symptoms.
I guess it's just knowing when you've been exposed, which is the other thing. The other, so Steve mentioned that yesterday we had that phone bank here. The number one thing that parents wanted to know about was COVID boosters regarding their children. So could you tell us about that, the different age groups, and when it is appropriate for kids to get their boosters?
Sure. So lots of guidelines about that exist, and lots of vaccination resources are out there. I was actually contacted by SAISD earlier this week, and SAISD is getting organized to have vaccine clinics at various school venues. And so if you haven't had your child vaccinated, do so now. Realize that it takes weeks before the child will be protected because it's a series of vaccines, weeks apart. And so if you wait till the day school is starting, your child will be going to school without the full protection. So you'd be really smart to get your child scheduled now for their first COVID vaccine, and you'll be given instructions about the follow-up vaccines to complete the series.
Dr. Berggren, how concerned are you about parents just thinking they don't need to get their kids vaccinated? I mean, how concerned are you that the anti-vaccination movement that kind of seems to have come to the fore, most notably with COVID, may spread to other vaccines that kids really need to get before they go back to school?
Well, of course, there are rumors, and there's rumors beyond rumors, and they're problematic. I encourage people to try to go to their primary care doctors, their trusted source of medical information, to be advised about vaccines. And while the risk to children of having a terrible outcome from COVID-19 has always been low, there's this to think about. Children are capable of getting long COVID. They are vulnerable to long COVID. And this has impeded any number of kids from being able to fully participate in sports or to excel at school like they normally would. So we really want to help our children have the best possible chance, and getting vaccinated against COVID-19 helps you do that. This vaccine is really safe. People have heard about risk of myocarditis. That's in a fairly particular age group of adolescent boys, but even in those, the risk of getting a heart inflammation response from the vaccine is actually far lower than the risk of getting some sort of heart inflammation from COVID-19 infection itself. So this is a safe vaccine. It will protect your kid from getting long COVID. And furthermore, there may be people in families where there are elderly or immunocompromised folks, and even though the child who contracts COVID-19 may do great with it, there are consequences for the people around that child. So those are all good reasons to get your kids vaccinated before school starts.
Before we let you go, Doctor, talk about what you're seeing with the local COVID numbers and what you're seeing in the hospital right now as far as COVID goes.
Right. So our local COVID numbers are high. Okay. We are in a high risk group. That's not just something that people at Metro Health are putting out there. We meet the criteria based on what the CDC has recommended for how you evaluate community levels. And so we have greater than 200 new cases per 100,000 people per week in San Antonio. We're at 324. Being greater than 200 puts you at high, especially when you combine it with new hospitalizations due to COVID. And we're at 20.6 with the cutoff for high being 10. So we're double that. And we're right around the percent of hospitalizations being occupied by COVID-19 patients, pretty close to 10%. So we are legitimately, by the definition, at high risk. And that has implications for what we should do. And the CDC spells that out for us. And it is recommended that when you are in a public place, crowded or not, you're in a public place, you wear a mask. You wear the best mask you can find, ideally a KN95 mask. And you want to avoid non-essential indoor crowded activities where possible. And of course, everybody needs to complete their vaccine series, and people who have not been boosted need to get boosted. And we know, of course, that everybody over the age of 50 is recommended to get that fourth booster. A lot of us were slow out of the blocks to get that fourth booster, but now is truly the time to get it when our community is at a high risk level.
Now's the time. All right, Dr. Ruth Bergeron, thank you so much for joining us today. We so value your insight, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back. NASA's Mars rovers have been gathering data and samples on the red planet for years now, right? You keep hearing about it. But when are scientists actually going to get their hands on those samples? Well, the space agency announced its plan to get those samples back to Earth, and it involves using 2 helicopters.
But it's going to take years for spacecraft to make it to Mars and back. The Earth Return Orbiter launches in fall of 2027, and the sample retrieval lander launches in the summer of 2028. The sample's expected to arrive back on Earth in 2033.
Wow. 11 years. Jeez.
That's if the postage is right. They'll make it back at that time.
Hope they got forever stamps.
Yeah, me too. 98 degrees out there, and a little shade in this shot.
Hey,
that looks nice.
That's a small victory right there. You can tell how our summer has been going when we celebrate natural shade from clouds to help us out a little bit. And a few downpours out there right now, especially just outside of Seguin. We'll look at that in a moment. 99 currently. By 8 o'clock, 93 degrees, 10 o'clock, 88, and a gusty wind that's going to start picking up here momentarily. You'll notice that out of the southeast at about 25 miles per hour. We're going to talk about how much rain we need to pull out of this drought in just a bit.
You know, it's always exciting on Thursdays when Adam's here.
Thursdays?
Thermometer Thursday.
Yes.
He's got the tie today, so you know it's a day he's very excited about. And that's what I've noticed.
And I've been looking forward to this one. I'm wearing an extra special accessory as well that we're going to get into, and a bit of the story behind it. So.
Pocket square?
Nope.
Tie clip?
Ooh, getting warmer. All right, let's take a look at the radar. We've got one downpour that's just basically northeast of Seguin right now, and that's really all we have to talk about. I know you see some radar activity just to the left of the N in New Braunfels. I do believe that is the first round of bats starting to take flight for their evening meal, but I want to go back to the radar in a second, take a look here at that one downpour headed towards Zorn. Let's hope it stays together, and then Zorn, you could get a quick splash of heavy but brief rainfall. This had a little bit of lightning associated with it a little bit ago, but overall, this activity doesn't last all that long. As for our rain chances going forward, tomorrow up to about a 20% chance. We think we have slightly better odds tomorrow for some better coverage. So maybe another handful or two of pop-up showers, even closer to San Antonio. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're at 10%. but that's about it. You take a look at the drought monitor. 97% of Texas considered in drought right now. Pretty much everybody needs the rain at the moment. We could all use it. Most of us really need it as well. Locally, we're in the exceptional and extreme category throughout Bexar County and San Antonio. And those are the worst drought categories that you can get. And we're surrounded by the extreme drought around here as well. So obviously, we need some rainfall. But how much would it take to pull us out of the drought? Well, NOAA and the scientists at NOAA have put together these climate basically areas. See, this one here includes San Antonio and even Medina County, points eastward. And for this area that you see highlighted, NOAA estimates that it would take about 22.5 inches of rain from now through October to pull us out of this drought. You go farther to the west, a different climate section here that they have sectioned off. 19 inches of rain between now and October to pull us out of this drought. And farther south of town, over 16 inches of rain is what it would take. The probability of that happening and easing out of this drought by the end of October and through fall is right now less than 2%. It would really take some wild cards from tropical systems to move in, tropical storms or hurricanes, remnants thereof. 99 right now. And by the way, the tropics, quiet still at this time. Del Rio 101 currently, Abilene 98, Lubbock right now at 99, 100 in New Braunfels, 101 in Pleasanton. It's more of the same. We're feeling the typical temperatures that we've been noticing the past couple of days, but it's not the intense heat of days and weeks past where we were breaking record high temperatures. We're not in that category. We're just above average. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. Tomorrow, 7 a.m. 78 degrees. By the noon hour, we make it up to 90. 10% chance of a pop-up brief downpour or two at 1, 2 o'clock. 20% chance from 3 o'clock to about 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. That's it for the downpour that we have out there right now. Again, not much to speak of on the radar screen. And tomorrow it's just right near 100. We're going to be near 100 for the foreseeable future, even just slightly above for a few days as we get into next week. Did you notice what it was?
What?
The extra accessory today.
I had pocket protector. Was that not right?
Pocket protector. You're a funny guy. Not only am I wearing my favorite tie.
It's got a thermometer on it.
But this is a thermometer tie clip. Ooh. It is a fully functioning and surprisingly accurate thermometer. Now, Joe and Barbara Maskill, I ran into them actually at the movie theater.
Okay.
Seeing Top Gun, Maverick. And they came up to me, they talked to me, they gave me the story. They were going through Barbara's parents' house, cleaning it out to help sell it. And they came upon a box of her grandfather's keepsakes. And in it was dozens of tie clips. And of course, including this one.
Wow.
This one stood out to them, and she talked to her sister, her dad, everybody, and they all agreed that they should pass it along to me. So
nice.
I am so honored and feel so special. And actually, I think it fit in just right.
It's very cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I love
item,
vintage, and I love vintage items. And thank you so much for thinking of me in terms of this beautiful and actually accurate thermometer for a tie clip. So today's winner, Barbara Maskill, you're the winner of today's homemade thermometer. Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yes, and you can go to ksat.com/thermometer to enter the drawing for these.
There's some skill in that tie clip thermometer there.
Completely. I was shocked at how accurate it was, and I'm very honored. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.
It is Thursday, July 28th.
A teenage girl in the hospital after she was shot in the chest overnight. According to San Antonio police, that shooting happened around 2:30 in the morning on Woodstone Drive near I-10. They say that teen was with 3 others when someone opened fire on their vehicle. They were found down the road. The girl who was shot was in critical condition. That shooter has not been caught.
A man shot and killed right in front of his girlfriend. That's according to police. A third suspect is facing charges in connection with his murder.
Police accuse this latest suspect of posting Instagram photos of the shooting victim's belongings and bragging about his death. 19-year-old Joseph Robert Ortiz is the third person arrested this week in a murder case. Records show he was charged with aggravated robbery and capital murder.
SA Metro Health now reporting 13 cases. That's 2 more than yesterday. Yesterday, we told you the FDA has cleared hundreds of thousands of additional doses of vaccines to be distributed and administered in the U.S.
For a second quarter in a row, the U.S. economy in a slump. After a 1.6% drop in gross domestic product last quarter, the Commerce Department today reporting that GDP dragged down again by nearly 1 percentage point in the second quarter. Some experts believe the weakening economy means the U.S. is headed for a recession, if not already in the midst of one.
If you are a fan of the late 80s and 90s, those Chucky scary movies, you recognize that guy. Looks just like the little murdering demon doll in the movie. Actually, this is a neighborhood in Alabama. The 5-year-old likes to wear last year's Halloween costume around the neighborhood. He was trying for a summertime scare. It worked.